Hey folks, Rachana Ranade here, and I welcome you all to another interesting lecture wherein we are going to talk about three terms which are very, very, very important for any person who is in employment. Which are the three terms? First one is CTC, second one is gross earning or the gross salary, and the third one is net salary, sometimes referred to as your in-hand salary. But what is the meaning of these three terms? Are there any components in that? What is the tax angle to that? All this coming up in the immediate next parts of the video. So let's understand what is CTC. CTC is nothing but cost to company. It's the amount that the employer is willing to pay towards the employee, but it's not necessarily the amount that the employee is going to receive in hand. What's the example for this? Let's say I offer you a salary, okay, and assume that I offer a CTC of 18 lakh rupees. Does it necessarily mean that you're going to get 18 lakhs divided by 12, that is 1.5 lakh in hand per month? Answer is no. Because your CTC can have multiple components. Okay, which components, what? We are going to discuss that in the subsequent parts of the video. But I'll give you a very short example right now itself. Assume that I've split your 18 lakh CTC as 12 lakh fixed and 6 lakhs variable. Okay, now this 6 lakh variable, I may term it as a performance bonus. Now assume that you are not able to meet your targets, and out of 6 lakh, the actual payout comes to only, let's say, 4 lakhs. Because assume that you are out of 100%, you are able to achieve only 75% of your target or something like that. Okay, so in that case, what will happen? Out of your 6 lakh performance bonus, which was a part of your CTC, the actual payout might be lesser than that. It might be, let us say, only 4 lakh. In that case, for that specific year, can I say your CTC dropped down from 18 lakhs to what? To 16 lakh only. Okay, because you lost out on the 2 lakh of performance bonus. So that is how I can tell you that CTC is always a bigger number as compared to what you're going to get in hand. In certain scenarios, it might be more or less equal, but it just can't happen that your in-hand salary will ever exceed the CTC. Well, before we move on, please understand that there is one thing which is far more important than CTC, gross salary or net salary, that is your in-hand salary. And what is that? It's the like button. Even if you smash it any number of times, no tax will be deducted. So don't forget to like it and then move ahead with the video. Let's take an example and understand what could be the possible splits, what could be the different components of CTC. Before we proceed with the example, please understand that this is just an illustration, this is just an example. Whatever allowances I'm going to discuss in this example right now, it's not necessary that your employer will give each and every of the allowance that I'm discussing in this example. There could be some plus minus to this as well. Okay, so let's understand. This is the example wherein a specific employer says that what is going to form a part of your CTC. It can be basic salary, HRA, that is your house rent allowance, children education allowance, leave travel allowance, very commonly known as LTA, medical allowance, special allowance, gratuity, employer's contribution to PF. All these put together, that total 4,38,000, this entire thing will form a part of your CTC. Okay, as mentioned, could there be a company which doesn't offer any special allowance? Yes. Could there be a company which has some other allowance other than all these whatever I've discussed right now? Yes, absolutely possible. So you have a homework today. Go and check your offer letter and see which all allowances are you getting. Are these same or some different allowance you're getting, right? Now understand, there is one specific point here. I've taken a subtotal, which is your gross salary. Okay. Now, what is this gross salary? 4,08,200. This gross salary is going to be very close to what you're going to get in hand. Okay. So, what is the difference? Understand. Your CTC is 4,38,000 something, but your gross salary is 4,08,000 something. Okay. Which is going to be very close to your in-hand salary, not 4,38,000, it's going to be 4,08,200. That is going to be close to your in-hand salary. Now, which are the two components which are missing from this gross salary figure? In our example, these are gratuity and employer's contribution to PF. Now, please understand, in our example, gratuity of almost 8,600 plus was forming a part of your CTC. Assume that you join the company and you leave the job in 2 years. Are you even going to get this? No. Gratuity will be paid out to you if and only if you stay with the company for a period of 5 years. Okay. So if you don't stay with that company for 5 years, this 8,600 whatever is going to be gone forever. But still, will that be a part of your CTC? Yes. Okay. I hope you're understanding the difference. Second one is employer's contribution to PF. I'm sure you might be aware about this basic thing that a certain percentage is fixed, say 12%. Okay, so employer contributes 12%, employee generally matches it. Okay, so employee will also contribute 12%. Employer's contribution will not be paid out to you every month. That will go to a pool. Okay, and whenever you leave the organization, or let us say on retirement, whatever is the case, at that time it will be paid out to you. Okay, but that, even if forms part of your CTC, will not form a part of your gross salary. I hope you have understood. We are trying to shift from what to what? From CTC to gross salary. I hope the difference is absolutely clear. Now let's try and decode the payslip. But before we move on to that, let's again get back to the same chart that I was showing you just a minute ago. In that, if you've observed, we had two columns. One was a PA, per annum amount, and one is PM, which is the per month amount. Okay. Now you can see that the gross salary per month was around 34,916 rupees and the CTC was 36,538 rupees. Now the $1,000,000 question to you is that out of these two figures, which figure will appear on your payslip? What is your answer? A or B? 34,016 or 36,538? And the correct answer is 34,016. So if you want to check this in your payslip, just have a look at this payslip now. Okay. What do you see? There is one subtotal which says your total gross earnings. That is nothing but your gross salary. 34,016. Now what is the split of this? Let's understand the split. First one is basic salary. Okay. So out of your 34,000 rupees, your basic salary is only 15,000 rupees. Don't feel that, array. This is even less than half of your gross salary. Doesn't make a difference as such. In fact, your basic salary is 100% taxable. Okay. You don't get even 1 rupee deduction out of that. So even if it is less, you should be happy with that. Okay. So that's a basic salary. Now, if you look at the other points in your payslip, what are these other points? House rent allowance, children education allowance, LTA, medical allowance, special allowance. I'm taking some creative liberty here. If I look at these allowances, it's as good as an employer is taking full care of the employee. Okay, how? Employer is giving you basic salary. Employer is ensuring that employer pays for the house rent of yours by giving you a house rent allowance. So taking care of your accommodation, taking care of your children's education allowance, so taking care of your kids' education to some extent, taking care of your leisure travels by giving you an LTA, taking care of your medical allowances, so taking care of your health. If you look on the right hand side, deductions, taking care of your retirement in the nature of PF. So see how good employers are. Okay. But anyways, all in all, finally it's nothing but just a breakup of your total gross earnings, which I am showing you in the nature of payslip. Are there any tax angles involved here? Answer is absolutely yes. I'm not going to go into detail in tax angles. Why? This is not a taxation lecture. This is just understanding the payslip. So just to give you a brief idea on this, as I mentioned, basic is fully taxable, basic salary fully taxable. House rent allowance may or may not be fully exempt, depends on certain conditions. Okay, so if you want to read, if you want to understand on there are basically 3 conditions which we have to check, and least of the following, it's a big calculation which is involved. If you want to check this, understand HRA with the help of a proper example, check out our blog which we have written on HRA. You can also click the I button and go directly to the blog and read about HRA. Okay, so in simple words, it may or may not be fully exempt depending on certain conditions, right? Third one is children education allowance. Now, if this is a very big humor or big joke, why? I'll tell you. My child's annual fee is around 50,000 rupees per year. Okay, and when I was discussing this, few of my friends, they said, "Arey, Rachana, it's very cheap because we are paying 1 lakh plus per year." So I said, "Oh my God, that's so much." And you know how much is the exemption or the deduction which is available? It is 100 rupees per month. Okay, subject to maximum of 2 children. Hum do, hamare do. Okay, so how much exemption am I going to get? 100 multiplied by 12. Okay, multiplied by 2 is not standard. If I have only one child, I'll get only multiplied by 1. Okay, so out of the 50,000 rupees that I've paid, pura 1200 rupees I'm going to get as a deduction. Okay, it's a joke, but yes, that is how much maximum is going to be allowed as a tax exemption for you. Okay, well, I'm using the word deduction and exemption interchangeably right now. It's not correct. We are not going, this is not a taxation lecture, right? So thoda emotions ko samajh lo, right? Moving on, what is the next one forming a part of your pay slip? That is your LTA. LTA is what? Leave and travel allowance. Okay, so basically, as I mentioned, the employer says jao ghoom ke aao. Don't be only a pustaki kida. Don't only work, have fun and come fully charged up and then work double, right? That is the expectation of the employer. Now there are certain rules and regulations involved. Again, how much can be exempt from the LTA that you receive? Just to give you a few examples, if you do a travel outside India, that will not be allowed as a deduction if you are going ahead with claiming a benefit for LTA. Okay, who can accompany you? That is also very important. Otherwise, if you are saying, "Arey, pura deduction I want," it will be like hum saath saath hai. Everyone is going A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Everyone will not get that entire amount will not get. You will get as a deduction. Okay. Again, who is covered? What is the definition of relative? Everything is given in the section. If you really want to read the sections, I'll give you links in the description box. All yours. You can read the entire bare sections also and get to know more about it, but I'm just going to give you a brief flavor about it. Okay, so that was about LTA. Medical allowance. Moving on to that, that is also pretty close to basic salary as far as the taxation is concerned, because whatever medical allowance you're going to get, that's going to be fully taxable. Okay, special allowance differs from company to company. It can be a car allowance, it can be a driver allowance, it can be a cook allowance, whatever. It can be any sort of allowance. Internet allowance, very creative it can be. So I hope you have understood that if I add up all these together, this amount 34,016 is going to be your total gross earnings. Is this what you're going to get in hand? No. From this amount, there'll be certain deductions. Which deductions? What is the meaning of that is going to come up in the next part of the video. So let's understand what could be the different deductions. Again, have a look at our pay slip. Could these be only 3 deductions for each and every employee? No. In some companies, deductions could be more than this or could also be less than this. These are the deductions in our example, right? So let's understand these deductions one by one. The very first one is profession tax. Generally, 2,500 rupees is the amount of profession tax which has to be paid. But what does the employer do? Employer cuts 200 rupees per month from your salary and pays it. But in the month of February, 300 rupees will be deducted from your salary. So 200 into 11, 2200, and 300 in the month of February will take it to the total of 2,500 rupees per year, right? Second one is Provident Fund. Now, what is this Provident Fund? This is the employee's contribution to Provident Fund. If you remember, we had talked about employer's contribution to Provident Fund. Okay, so this will be generally same. So say 12% was contributed by the employer, same 12% will be contributed even by the employee, and this employee's contribution will reflect in the deductions amount, right? Third one is TDS. This TDS is nothing but your income tax. So employer will cut tax at source and will pay to the government. Okay, now as a homework, what you can do is take out all your pay slips, take the total of TDS and see whether this total TDS matches as per your form 16. Ideally, the total should be same in form 16. There's one more form wherein you can cross check the amount of TDS, and I want you all to tell me in the comment section which form is that. I hope with this you have understood all the deductions which were visible in your pay slip. So in simple words, to round it up again, what was the scenario? First we talked about the CTC. From that we derived the gross earning, and from gross earning we had certain deductions, and we came down to the net salary or your in-hand salary. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and a small request from my side is that please share this video, especially to those friends who are from a non-commerce background, because for them, watching a pay slip can be really overwhelming. They can get confused. With this video, they'll be able to understand each and every component of their pay slip. If you've enjoyed this video, share this with your friends. Until then, take care. Jai Hind and bye-bye.